Hello, welcome back to Shorts and Decepti-Clips. So yes, I was trying to focus more on shorts, but I'm becoming more and more disenfranchised with YouTube as a platform in itself. I just don't think it's fair now for us noobs. You know, you try and get monetized, and it just gets like thrown in your face. Anyway, enough complaining. Now I have been asked by a friend to update my revision clicks, my revised old Heroclix. So any characters that were the pre-carded era, so anything before the original Avengers set and Justice League set from way back in, I think it was 2007. Woo! A long time ago now. So all the pre-carded stuff. So that's for Marvel, anything from Hyper Time to Supernova, and any of the other little sets like the Danger Room. DC would be, is it Hyper Time? Up to, now this is where I forget, I think the last DC one was the Green Lantern mini-pox, but if I'm wrong, then please correct me in the comments. So yes, originally we were looking at and playtesting, me and my friend, in regards to like new rules for old characters to play with the newer wordy, oh, I can do this, I can do that on my card. You know, you've got about 58 cards, you've got sidelines, you've got tarots, you've got so much stuff in a game which was originally designed to be quite simplified when it comes to these tabletop miniatures. But as with anything, you know, the companies want to try new things, so you're just laden with so much extra stuff. I don't like to play modern because of that. I just want a box full of Heroclix that I can just get out and play with one little instruction booklet which gets updated. That's fine by me, but I don't want folders of bloody cards, of extra bits of plastic here, there and everywhere. Well, if it's a new Juggernaut, I'll always buy the Juggernaut. Kane Marco only, not anybody else. So yes, originally it was going to be no defense below a 7, and no defense below a 15, and no attack below 7. Now playtesting that, with a lot of the older ones, it just really didn't work. They still were missing the newer pieces. Because what my friend's been doing, he's been building up from the tiers. So he had a team of white card characters, a team of the sort of the black card characters, and then a team of like the more modern carded characters. So a lot of where the stats, you look at the modern figures, the character will start with 18, and then the shield will only ever dip down to 17 for the next 6 clicks. Same with the attack, they might start with 11, but nothing ever seems to go below a 10 or a 9 these days. I know the newest X-Men set, X-Men 97, Leech, it's a child character. He gets a minimum of 8 on his dial. So I think out of all the modern figures, more like say the last 3 or 4 sets, he's been probably the lowest with an 8. So we've had to re-review what we're going to try and do in regards to defenses and attacks. So what I have thought up is for rookie characters, just so the rookies aren't overpowered and the veterans don't seem a bit underpowered. So what I've tried to do is say any rookie figure no lower than 15 on defense and no lower than an 8 on attack, and with experience nothing lower than 16, nothing lower than 9 on attack. And then for, okay, now this one was harder to do. Veterans nothing below a 17, and for defense nothing below a 10 for attack. And then you look at uniques and LEs. Now sometimes a unique is like an older version of a character. In let's just take the original Cyclops and the original Captain America from Infinity Challenge. Like the Cyclops it's meant to depict like a younger version, but it's like, do you pick and choose like what unique is and isn't falling into line? Do you look at the original point value and go, well, because he's a 14 points, then he has to be a 9? So what I've tried to do is basically have them the same as veterans. So, but the same with what I said about uniques just then also applied for a lot of the early LEs, where you'd get an Iceman and a Bobby Drake, And the Bobby Drake LE would be completely pointless. Like, why would you ever play that over even an experienced original Iceman? Very weird. Like, some of them were just a bit rubbish. Looking at the Ted Sallis, aka Man Thing, the original one, like, it was originally a terrible dial, awful dial for all 4 pieces: the rookie, experienced rev, the rookie, experienced veteran, and the LE. All terrible pieces, like awful shield, awful, like 14 and a 13. Like, what is the point in playing that? With the hope you might get your impervious roll, but without Outwit even being a thing back then, and then you've got so many other newer powers, what, you would not stand a chance playing that piece. You would never play it unless you were like, I really want to play that piece, to the point where you're stubborn and you would only ever play it because you wanted to play it. But he would die every single time, and they'd be awarded X amount of points. So in order for the LEs and the uniques, they would also be 17 and a 10. I know that's controversial, but there is no other way of doing it unless you treat them as experienced. But then again, some of the bigger, better uniques and LEs would suffer from that. So just to make it sort of eveny-steveny, they're going to be applied the same rules as a veteran. So what I did is I took the original Infinity Challenge and Universe version of Wolverine, and you can see here, this is the original dial for Wolverine Rookie from Infinity Challenge. You can see he tapers down quite a bit. Like this kind of stuff here is not viable against modern characters. Not viable. So the idea is, we've got here the original Rookie Wolverine. What we do is we say nothing below an 8, so that improves him from click 4 onwards. So 888, and then with his defense, he starts with 15. He doesn't ever drop below 15. And that annoying 0 damage, nobody wants to play that. That is a terrible idea. There is no way that Wolverine would be rubbish, not be able to hit something without his claws. If you choose not to do Blaze Claws, like this forces you to do it. So I would rather him just, you've got 1 damage. You've got 1 damage. No, enough of that annoyance, like 0 damage rubbish. Like, that's out the window. Out the window. And you can see here with the experience, and you see the Universe version is also an experience, so that's why the same rules apply. And it kind of works. Kind of works. Some of the point values don't always match up. But again, the original, you can't see it because I've cut it off and I've done a bad edit here. But the original Universe was 41 points, with the original Rookie being 44 points. So they were similar anyway. So because he's an experienced, he's cranked up a little bit. They play for the same points as 2020. But if you really want to play this version versus this version, it can do, because this one gets a little bit extra stealth and a little bit more extra regen. Yeah, and he gets more battle fury. So there are, pros and cons with playing this one versus this one. Not too much, I know, but these rulings can't be perfect because of the way the older figures were done. They cannot be perfect. And you can see what I've done here with the experience. So nothing below a 9. So it improves him from click 3 and onwards for attack, and it just completely one up from the beginning of the experience. So yeah, he's a lot tougher in regards to defense wise. And the veteran, again, he never got 17 originally, went down to 11. What is that about? And a 0 for his damage. Enough of that. 6 attack, he ain't going nowhere with 6. So yeah, we've got 10 all the way through, Blaze Claws all the way through. So yeah, the powers don't change, the powers do not change, just the stats to try and help them a little bit more. And if you remember from the other videos, they do all get inherent sidestep, and if there is, I can't remember now. I can't remember some of the other powers that we did. Let's see if I saw it on there. Yeah, so stop clip. So yeah, one of the main things was inherent sidestep and the slashing of the point values, because a lot of them are just so unplayable at the original point values. But the inherent sidestep has been a massive thing, because I have won games, not all of them, using these old figures versus the new ones. Sometimes my friend might be a bit lenient, but I have either had a good game, yeah, I've lost, but but it's been a good game. You've not been wiped off the board. You've not been annihilated. There are obviously some things that these older pieces cannot do. You know, there's some powers that they don't even have access to, like Empower, Precision Strike, any of the pink ones basically. And obviously the wordy. You sat there reading an encyclopedia for half a day playing a game, reading all these wordy powers. They are beneficial. They help the new pieces no end against these older things. But with some of these inherent traits I've given them, it does actually bring them to the forefront in the modern game. It's not perfect, but it allows you to be able to, I don't know, play a bit better. That you can. If you choose, you don't want to play new stuff, you don't want to buy a load of new stuff, you just want to play your old pieces that you bought, 20 years ago, 30 years ago nearly. So going back here, so the veteran, you see, yeah, it improves the veteran no end. And then we get into the LE and the unique. Again, the unique, he wasn't an X-Men character, he was just Wolverine, I think, from when he... Although he's just noticed the Horse of Apocalypse keyword there. So that was a weird one. Obviously, keywords weren't a thing back in the day. So I'm surprised he gets that one, but yeah. Because this one, I think it was meant to represent when he was in Japan. Doesn't matter. So yeah, I think his dial was shorter, but he was top heavier with the attack with 12. But again, it just improves him. He's got a bit of charge as well in there. And then obviously similar points. These two similar. But they do have different playability there. Like this one is a more charging Wolverine, whereas these ones are all stealth. This one has both. You can charge and stealth. So yeah, not a perfect system, but the playtesting is working for them. It really is working for them. Like I said, not perfect, and that is just a simple update. 12 minutes of trying to bring your old Heroclix into the modern game without making them too over the top, without giving them this and this and this and this and this, and having 400 different rulings that you might as well just not bother and just play the new stuff. So simple little rulings and slight changes to even the odds out a little bit. So yeah, don't forget to love, like, subscribe. I'll see you guys and girls in the next one.